We take in a lot of units of information at a young age, and we use that information to create basically a lens that we interpret reality through. We don't just interpret reality through this programmed lens, we also interpret what we are, what we think we are, what our purpose is, etc. You see, guys, we've been lied to heavily. And most people, whether they're aware of it or not, and most aren't, are mind controlled. And they're mind controlled, folks, because they've been taught and trained on how to interpret everything. What's possible, what's impossible. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. So, guys, perception and awareness is everything. And you can enhance your perception. You can enhance your awareness. You can get a bigger picture, if you catch my drift. You don't have to live in this nihilistic headspace that the system pushes on us. And they push it on us heavily, guys. They want us afraid of death, thinking that this is our only chance. They want us constantly in a state of chaos, in a state of fear. And don't fucking try to tell me that that's not what they're doing. Because when you get to a certain state, right, of health, mental health, physical health, and spiritual health, you'll be able to see the fucking sickness on everyone, guys. Just because you tell yourself something doesn't mean it's true. For instance, oh, I don't live in fear. What are you talking about, Serpent? Well, guys, if the average person knew how deep the reservoir of their conditioning was, they would shut the fuck up and listen. Everybody wants to think that they've got it all figured out. It's insanity. So, guys, non-ordinary states of consciousness. We only consider them non-ordinary because we've been taught what ordinary consciousness or awareness is. And those of us who practice real sorcery use things such as, but not limited to, power plants to cause a rapid shift in awareness by way of moving or shifting the assemblage point. I'm here to tell you, and it's part of my life's mission to tell you this, that we've all been hit hard by this New World Order poison. And a lot of the sickness exists in the mind. Mental illness. It's everywhere, guys. It's everywhere. And how could it not be? We've been nourished on nonsense. We've been given a completely backwards education system. So many things in this reality that I like to call the Matrix are flawed. And unfortunately, when you engage with things that are flawed, right? It gives you a skewed rendition of the bigger picture. Hope that makes sense. So guys, the conditioning is extensive. And you're never going to know about it unless you do the work. And what do I mean by the work? I'm talking about the 4 inner exercises that I talk about regularly on this channel. The Thoughtlessness Exercise, the Inner Temple Exercise, the Full Body Relaxation Exercise, and the Motionlessness Exercise. These are just 4 basic exercises that can quantum leap you, or quantum leap your development, But so many people message me, and they want to engage with the stuff that I talk about. When I ask them if they've done the exercises, most of them say, well, I've heard about them, and maybe I tried it once, but I'm not doing it. Well, you got to do the work, guys. I don't want to go into my inner temple for more than 5 minutes, man. I got stuff to do. Well, then don't do it. Then what's the point of saying you want to do the work if you're not willing to do the work? I've spent so many hours in my inner temple. I've talked about how there were times where I'd do my inner temple exercise for over 4 hours. There were times, guys, and this may sound hard to believe, where I'd spend most of my day in my inner temple. That's how engaged I was in doing the exercises. And that's just one of the exercises. You see, I live this. It's my day-to-day life. And unfortunately, I don't think most people are willing to go to the extreme lengths that I have to obtain better health. And health is far more than just physical health. Oh, I eat well. Guys, mental health is the most important thing to get dialed in. And mental illness is everywhere. Because if your mind is ill, You're not going to be doing smart things with your body. You see, health is far more advanced or complicated than just, I intermittent fast and I drink distilled water that I've restructured. That's great. But there's a certain layer of the onion of obtaining health that you can't get to simply by eating clean. I know a lot of people that eat clean that are still are idiots. So we've got to get out of this, and the system pushes this heavily, this idea that to get everything right with your health, you just got to fucking eat well and exercise and run around the neighborhood, take a multivitamin, and see your doctor all the time. The real sickness is in the mind, guys. We have a skewed operating system, and it's because of the fact that we grew up in this insane system that pushed this skewed operating system on us and taught us that it's the gold standard. You can directly experience the acquisition of your lost power. Your senses will open up and you'll be able to understand more of what the Matrix is trying to convince you and hoodwink you into doing so that you lose your soul as a byproduct. Catch my drift? It's called participation. You don't have to participate with this nonsense. And you can get to the point where you've established a state of health that's beyond what the system's norm of health is. I'm talking about power. I'm talking about ether. I'm talking about fire. Kundalini, folks. This is what they want to stop. Don't you see that? Aren't you paying attention? I hope so. Or are you like millions of these lost souls that are on the earth plantation as slaves? This is a broken system and it's designed this way intentionally. This is a test. Do you not see that? Your heart is being weighed on the scales of Mayat. Do you not see that? Do you not sense it? Do you not feel it deep within your bones, within your blood? Do you not have a genetic memory of this? You know, you're a lot more aware of what's going on than you give yourself credit for, but you've lulled yourself into a state of slumber, and your day-to-day consciousness now resembles a deep unconscious sleep. There's no lucidity. Getting healthy requires you to become lucid. It takes action. Lucidity requires action because once you become lucid to the truth, you're at a fork in the road, aren't you? You either keep going down the current or you swim up current. Swimming up current takes effort. Builds your muscles, though. You see, the easy path is for the sheep. They're floating down the river. All this nonsense, guys, it's subtle poison. Subtle fucking poison. They're modifying our genetics. They're changing the way our body works. And they're giving us a massive inundation of smart devices that make our life convenient. But these smart devices, as they evolve, you guys, they get more and more weaponized, and before you know it, everything on your phone will be able to be implanted into you. And I know that sounds very science fiction, but that's the future, you guys. That's what all the bigwigs are talking about. That is the aspirations of these insane fucking oligarchs that are running the show from behind the scenes. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity, and I have no more patience for the sheep. These people are destined, wired, whatever you want to call it, for their own destruction. They participate with it, and they love it. And they will fight, kick, and scream to defend the status quo.